Hey guys, hope you are all doing great. Today we are going to be talking about the toxicity of the whole manifestation, love attraction, love assumption community. The videos you can see everywhere online, all over your YouTube channels, all over TikTok, they're everywhere, and you already know my opinion about this. I'm not gonna get into why it doesn't work, why it doesn't work like that. By the way, I am by no means saying that manifestation, love attraction is not a real thing. It absolutely is. We manifest all the time. It just doesn't work the way they portray it. They're basically portraying it in a way that looks too good to be true because it is. But I'm not going to get into that in this specific audio because I already have a lot of times and I want to talk about something else. Basically, I just don't feel like repeating myself. And you probably already know what I think of it. So basically, what I want to talk about is how toxic it all is. Because, guys, here's the thing. They are making it like this. You are a god. You are a god. You're so powerful. You are a god. And you can do everything. You can control everything. You can control life, time, space, other people. Like everything is under your control. Everything is under your control. Of course, it's not, but that's what they're telling you. And there's so many people buying it because people want to be in control. Obviously, we are afraid of not being in control. We are afraid about life. We are afraid of losing people. We are afraid of so many things. So it does really, it is something that people want to hear. And absolutely, I get that. Sure. But the problem is that it's not true. It's not true. It simply is not true. So, what is it doing to society? Well, first of all, so many people, instead of letting go of control, which is what we are supposed to do because we can't control everything, so many people are trying to stay in control, so forcefully stay in control. Because, yes, it is chasing actually, even though they tell you that it is attracting, you need to let go. But how are you letting go and how are you attracting if you are in control? You're not, right? And if you control others, how are you letting it go if you are controlling them? And they tell you basically control them by letting go. Yeah, I don't think so. So the problem here is not just that they're making people delusional and they're making people obsess and they make people crave control and think that they can control everything. The problem is that they're creating a lot of guilt because you just need to affirm for things and it will go like that. For example, let's imagine your grandma is really sick and your grandma is really old, right? And she's really sick. And then, you can control everything and you can control, life and death, basically. You can control everything, other people. So you can control your grandma to stay alive. And you're affirming for your grandma to live, right? My grandma is doing well. My grandma is better. My grandma is cured. My grandma is healthy. Whatever. You're affirming, right? And then your grandma is old, right? And it's just her time. Her experience comes to an end, and she transforms. I mean, the word that we use here is dies. She dies, but there is no death. She transforms, and basically, but you're affirming for your grandma to stay with you, to stay, here in this physical body with you, and she doesn't. And then you blame yourself because your grandma died, because you were not affirming hard enough, you were not affirming properly, you were not doing it right. Um, and you blame yourself for the fact that it was your grandma's time to just pass. Insane, right? And I bet that things like this happen all the time. So, another thing is that it creates a lot of ego, a lot of ego. because you are a god, right? You're a god, you control everything. You are in your ego as much as you can be, right? You are a god, you control everything, you decide everything. Nobody has free will except for you. It is very egoistic if you think about it, the whole practice. And then we lose that humbleness that we are meant to, have as human beings and develop, because we are not in control of everything and we are not gods. We are having this experience right now on earth as human beings. And yes, we are souls. We are souls, but we are not gods. We are not. I mean, you can look yourself like that and you can say I'm a goddess, just if you want that boost of self-esteem. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that we do not control everything at all. We don't. Think about it. And when we have the perception that we do, and that we are gods and that we're so important and we are, we can control everything, that is where we have a problem. Because then it's the opposite of, spirituality. It's the opposite of what every religion is telling you. It's the opposite of everything. It's the opposite of being humble. It's the opposite of, letting go. It's the opposite of attracting. It's the opposite of all of that. It simply does not align with everything. Being in your ego, trying to control everything, it's trying to force things. It's trying to chase things. It is absolutely low vibrational, and they tell you it's high vibrational because you are, becoming who you truly are. And you should become who you truly are. Absolutely. You should, develop yourself, all of that. You should expand your consciousness. I'm all for that. The stuff that we do on the channel are about that. But the thing is that the reason why also, magic doesn't always work is because some things we can't control. And we are trying to influence things here, but then the targets have free will, and sometimes it will simply not work. And that's something we need to accept. And, when we see that it's not happening and it's been a long time, maybe we need a break, or maybe, we just need to let it go, because maybe it will not happen because it's just not meant to happen for some reason. And there's a reason, trust me. So, guys, I think it's very toxic. I think that people are instead of getting out of their egos and into, their higher selves, it's the opposite. They're getting more into their egos because they think they're gods. They think they can control things. And I think it's extremely toxic, and it's all under this mask of, spirituality and actually like letting go and attracting and all of that. When in reality, a lot of those videos are quite toxic. And this is not me by any means saying that we don't have any control. We have a lot of it, absolutely, that we can't influence things. We do it all the time, and we can, obviously. This is not me saying that we shouldn't try to, receive things and better ourselves. No, it's not about that. I hope you kind of understand what my point here is. My point is that it just creates a lot of toxic behavior, in my opinion, and makes people truly think they can have anyone or anything they want, and that it's so easy because they're gods. But that is not the case, and that is not how it works. So I hope everybody understood this. I, as always, had a much nicer explanation in my head, but then when I start to talk, it just doesn't come off as I want it to. But I think the point is taken. I think you kind of realize, understand. I think you kind of understand what I wanted to say and why I think that this is a problem. And it's kind of getting out of hand because everyone and their mother is convinced they're gods. And it is. It's actually not funny, it is not funny. I'm laughing here, but it's not actually funny at all. It's something that, in my opinion, has gotten out of hand because some of the things are of course nice and good and all of that, and usually everything will have two sides, obviously, and that's perfectly normal. um, and I agree with a lot of the things, but there are just a lot of the things that I do not agree with, and I think are making a lot of toxicity in society in general. And that is what I really think that you should think about. Again, not trying to be moral police here. I honestly think that everybody obviously has free will. That's the whole point of this audio. And they can decide for themselves and do whatever they like. But since, I am your chosen person to guide you through your spiritual journey, I, of course, will, share what I think is best for my clients. And that's the only thing I'm doing here. Um, so, yeah, anyways, that would be that. Bye.